Alright. So the video is called Gen Z has become unmeditated. The fuck that mean? Speaking Chinese. What the fuck is this? What do you mean? What? Unmeditated. What does that mean? Let's get to read the video.
Generation Z den höchsten Anteil der Arbeitslosen laut dem
Holy shit. It's in German. Yo, that shit cut me off, man.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, new Gen Z workers make up the highest share of the unemployed in nearly 40 years, with only 30% of recent graduates securing.
Yeah, scammers out here. Yeah, what's this word that people use always say online? I'm an entrepreneur. Everybody's an entrepreneur right now. That's crazy.
Full-time jobs in their field of study. Yet despite 98% of HR leaders claiming they struggle to find talent, 89% refuse to hire Gen Z, raising the question,
Damn, what we do? Why is he fuck us for?
why is the most educated generation in history becoming ghosted by minimum wage jobs? Well, you'd think that with each
They don't want to retire. This niggas is greedy, bro. This nigga wants to work there, especially the government niggas. They want to work there until like, bro, 200 years, until they start to wither. Bro, give us a chance.
Modern generation facing a worse job market than their parents, with nearly half of the entire workforce unable to afford even a minimal quality of life, that as Gen Z voices their frustrations over facing the worst entry-level job market in nearly 4 decades.
Bro, on me, I had this homie. He was like smart ass nigga. Like, he used to like, bro, he A's everything, and he still couldn't get a job. One thing you gotta know is like when you outside here, you gotta be smart, really street smart. Like, for him to even get a job, he had to like get connections. Those A plus, how parents say study and then you're gonna get a good job, nigga, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing on me. So you gotta like have connections, like know people who know people. You gotta be that's
The worst layoff since the Great Recession, the second straight year of historic job revisions, the majority of H-1B approvals actually going to entry-level positions, only to then be told the job market has never been stronger, that all of this decay would finally be enough to force a nation to confront a system that has failed generation after generation. But instead, society refuses to evolve, dismissing it all as laziness and entitlement.
They don't want to work. They're spoiled brats. They've grown up in a world where it's everyone gets a trophy generation, and like the idea of showing up and going through traffic and being at the office at 8:45 and working till 6, they look at you like you got 10 heads to it. They think everything's on a silver platter. So it's very hard to motivate these people. They're really lazy, entitled losers.
So what?
Ooh, set the match up in a beat. Wait, bro. These millennial niggas think this shit is still 1970. This shit is not 1970. That shit is patched. Bro, I have this millennial person tell with me, why you even got a girlfriend? I tell him, I ain't got no motion. He say, you need money to get a to go out. I'm like, nigga, yeah. Yeah, shit is evolved, bro. They think we live in the dinosaur eras. That shit is dead with. That shit didn't work. Like, let me take her to 5 dates, and then like, she's gonna be a girlfriend, bro. Hell to the fucking no. You're gonna be served as free meal. Hold up, hold up. I gotta like close it up, close it up, close it up, close it up. Just say, whoa. Almost ruptured my ear.
All Gen Z will apparently be forced to endure these same stereotypes as every previous generation. The reality is that this employment crisis largely stems from the complete gutting of entry-level jobs. Despite overwhelming evidence that AI is nowhere near fully automating.
Bro, that nigga already tired of this nigga, bro. I'm trying to jump this nigga. Damn, what you do to make that nigga that mad? You trying to jump this nigga?
The job market, with MIT finding that 95% of generative AI pilots at companies are failing, alongside the majority of AI layoffs now resulting in rehires. A survey of more than 600 recruiters worldwide, with
yeah, that's a guy, bro. I always say, and this is something Peaky Blinders taught us. As a man, you gotta know where you get the money away from work. He always had that emergency, like, if shit hit fans, he was always business first. It didn't matter if his brother died or who died, it was business first. And if things went south, he always knew where to get money. He was that fast. I love how Tommy Shelby was that. You know what I mean? He was always sharp. Like, you know what I mean? His wife cheated on him. No, business first. He was that smart, bro. Tommy Shelby was fucking fire, and he always knew where to get the paper. You know what I mean? If it was a scam, niggas, I don't care. Like, you gotta know how to make money off the rip without work as a man. That's like knowing how to hunt. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you ever achieve that, you're gonna be like a real man. So
over half coming from Fortune 100 or Fortune 500 companies, found that 1/3 of employers are nevertheless replacing entry-level jobs with AI. Even if those responses were simply an attempt to inflate investor confidence and boost stock prices, a separate Resume.org survey found that by 2027, 47% of employers expect to eliminate entry-level roles entirely, which means that whether AI actually works and unemployment skyrockets, or it completely backfires and results in a reduction in household wealth worse than 2008, the outcome remains the exact same as it always has. The burden falls on the generation entering the workforce.
I feel like generally, where we headed is people will either like we're gonna go to joblessness, homelessness, and then people are gonna go back to living in the wild because this shit is fucking insane, bro. Motherfucking how do you call someone who rents your house? Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, they keep adding like the rent money, and I'm like, bro, you adding rent money. The food is also skyrocketing, but the salaries are not increasing. What the fuck y'all want this money to come from, bro? Like, that's fucking insane. And people, I feel like we're gonna go back to live with wild animals. I promise you. That's where we headed. That's where we headed.
To better understand the long-term repercussions eliminating entry-level jobs has on Gen Z and the future of the job market, I spoke with Brian Creeley, a corporate recruiter, hiring manager, HR professional for some of the world's largest companies, career coach, and creator of the YouTube channel, A Life After Layoff.
The funnel into an organization is really supposed to be you give people the baseline opportunities to not only just learn the technology and demonstrate those skills so that they can move into more advanced roles in an organization, but it's also to learn corporate culture. That base level is you're supposed to be sitting in those meetings with the more senior people and taking notes and observing through osmosis. And if they're going to eliminate that entire thing, what is the leadership going to look like? The senior level positions in an organization in 5 years, in 10 years.
But if they encourage AI, I feel like the government should step in, even though it's inevitable, but I feel like the government should intervene and be like, no, we don't want AI in jobs because it's gonna get people laid off. Where are gonna get tax money? You know, they're not saying that. And like I said, the people saying, oh, we paying this. You know, I mean, this is too much. Yeah, we're gonna leave people with no choice. Imagine going to work, you don't even have money for yourself, you don't have money for like raising kids. That's insane. And it's gonna like bring an uproar and people will be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Let's go to the savannah. Because what you gonna do? This should be insane. That's what people are like, you know what I mean? So a government gotta do. This is what they're supposed to be doing. But instead I'm seeing the government getting involved with bullshit that doesn't even matter. Like, bro, help your peoples. These people on the government, we voted y'all to represent us. These niggas ain't doing nothing and they getting paid paper. Like, bro, if you are fucking working in the parliament at the end of your fucking how do you say, not shift but your like term, and you ain't done shit, boy, you gotta pay back that money, bro. No, you scammed us. Cause what the fuck? You said their plans and this was supposed to be, this was supposed to be, you got the paper, what's stopping you? This is what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Getting people to get enough money, trying to get involved because these fucking prices are going high. They don't care because they're getting paid. They're earning a lot of money. That's unfair to your people. Whether they try to slime somebody for saying the truth, that's crazy. Without us, they don't get paper if we gone. That's insane. Take care of your peoples. We as your peoples.
At the same time, they're also eliminating the middle managers. So it's like you're being squished. So now you've got these senior level people these executives are loving it because they get to, they get to make money rain, they get their bonuses and all this stuff.
Facts.
But I don't know if they're actually thinking through the big picture of you're eliminating the development of the youngest generations, and you're also eliminating the middle manager positions for these senior level people to move into. So now you're basically creating a single band of
Talk to them, OG. Talk to them, OG.
people who are stuck in a very narrow range
Talk to them,
of roles.
OG.
That's not entry level. That's not leadership. It's in between. And then you've got this executive kind of like sitting up in an ivory tower making these decisions. So what's it going to look like in 10 years from now when there is that crunch, and now all these senior executives are retiring?
And
I just
Them nepo babies are eating. I ain't gonna lie. They're eating. They ain't good. But I don't know why people are getting mad at nepo babies. You know what I mean? Oh, you're a nepo baby. Okay. My dad was working 24 hours. You know what I mean? 48 hours. No sleep. What was your daddy doing? Blame your father. Fuck is you talking about? Talking about, oh, he's still. Well, your daddy should have stole also better. He should have scammed better. That's not my fault. My daddy worked hard so I can have a better life, so I can live the way he did. That's what's life about. I don't know why the Nepo baby hate comes from. If I get paper, I'm giving that shit to my kid too. I want to put my man's on. Fuck is you talking about? Yes. Nepo baby. Look at this Lambo. Fuck is you talking about? Fuck you tomorrow.
investment and gutting of entry-level jobs existed long before the AI race. The unfortunate reality is Gen Z is also competing for these limited positions against older, more experienced, and overqualified workers being forced to accept entry-level pay. According to Stanford's Digital Economy Lab, employment among Gen Z workers aged 22 to 25 declined by 16% in the occupations most exposed to artificial intelligence, while older workers in those same occupations continued filling those roles instead. Today,
Yeah, these niggas are working too hard. Damn. It's like they're taking money to the afterlife. Like, OG, chill.
two-thirds of all entry-level roles are filled by workers with over 7 years of work experience, while 61% of full-time entry-level positions require 3 to
Look at him. He should be in the country area with his horses and the chickens. But instead of Bo, this thing doesn't retire.
5 years of experience. The Federal Reserve suggests this could be the result of decades of career and wage stagnation, as traditional routes for career advancement, such as job hopping, now provide little financial benefit. Ultimately, career advancement
No longer pays how to rethink your recruiting strategy.
such as job hopping, now provide little financial benefit, ultimately creating a compressed career ladder where 52% of graduates are underemployed within a year of graduation, while a study by the Burning Glass Institute found that 73% will remain underemployed a decade later.
The candidate who's coming into that interview, who maybe had that capability, who has that competency, who has that potential, just doesn't have a resume to prove it, now has that stigma going against them of like, well, you're not hireable. You're not good. You're not going to be a good fit for us. Because I've heard those conversations. I've heard hiring managers making stories up about people based on what's on their resume or what they've achieved in the past. And they start creating these stories. Well, this guy's not hireable. This guy's not promotable. He didn't get promoted at his last job. If he was truly a high performer, why didn't this other company or these other two companies ever recognize their capability? And I would like look at them and say, like, how do you know what this person has or hasn't done or is capable of without even looking at them? Just you're telling a story. Maybe the whole story isn't on a piece of paper. Maybe the whole story isn't my bias toward what I think this candidate's career should have looked at like, because when I started my career, things looked a lot different.
And to prove
Listen, getting work on this generation is the most insane thing I've ever seen. It's like Tinder. It's like being a man in Tinder, bro. Is that bad? You gotta be top. Like your resume gotta be shine. You know how the people get matches? Do you know how their Tinder pages look like? Go look at this movie. What's it called? The Tinder Swindler on Netflix or wherever. How his Tinder looked right, and he was getting matches and matches. Is that saturated? I'm like, gang, what you mean? What the fuck? Like, boy, you gotta, and they gotta like you to even get that job. That's fucking crazy. That's insane. If the manager even listen, you can have all the resume is like good wherever you want, but it's like if the manager ain't fucking with you, the vibe is like, no, we booked up. Like, what the fuck? One time I was like, fuck it. I didn't even care. I was like, alright. They even give you interviews, show you around. This motherfucker showed. I ain't gonna lie. I was pissed one time. This manager booked me for an interview, right? He interviewed me, blah blah blah. He said he showed me around at the workplace, right? I'm like, okay, cool. It seems like I got the job because why you showing me the building and shit, like how things work, blah blah blah. I'm like, cool. He's like, I'll text. I was like, all right. This nigga text me, I ain't got a job. But then why the fuck you showing me the building? I could have went home. You could have texted me. That would be in a telephone. Like, call me, bro. Why you wasting my goddamn time? We could have videoed this shit. Like, bro, what's this nigga on? That shit just pissed me off. And these people are hiring these people, these flashy ass, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, it's always like teen and dating because they play on their faces. They're just there, but they are already planning to like move on, and they think this is the best candidate. While this other person who is gonna maybe stay there for a long time and has work ethic, they don't take him serious. They take something flashy, and that's their problem. And I've seen this in my workplace too. Like they will take the person who looks flashy, the one they like, blah blah blah, and then they will hold them in like 1 year or a few months. They're gone. But somebody who is like dedicated is gonna stay there for a long time. They hold them. That's fucking insane.
Just how deep the stigma actually is. LinkedIn's own algorithm has been shown to suppress profiles with employment gaps, while ATS services and job platforms suppress or automatically reject applicants working lower wage jobs such as grocery store clerks or restaurant servers because in the eyes of many employers, they signal class, resulting in a labor market
They
where
signal
as
what?
in the eyes of many employers, they signal class, resulting in a labor market where Gen Z is fundamentally trapped in a cycle of low paying jobs with little opportunity for advancement. Today, Gen Z accounts for 55% of all multiple job holders, the highest share of any generation in well over a decade, leaving 83% reporting burnout, while 61% have delayed or avoided preventative health screenings. And while I totally understand delaying medical care due to the concern of cost or time, take it from me, someone who is told by two separate doctors that
Oh
spitting
shit, nigga, what the fuck happened to you? You got jumped? This nigga both. Why you look like this nigga look healthy though? You look like he just went to the hospital. Take this picture real quick for my YouTube. Does this nigga look sick? I don't know. He might be faking.
up blood was not an
Blame.
issue and almost died in his apartment due to actually
Man, hell no. This nigga do, bro. Like, let me look down. Let me look sick, bro. Man, hell no. How do you even get the time to take a picture? Like, bro, you see, what do you even think about a picture? Bro, I'm calling this cab, bro. What?
having undiagnosed factor 5, that your health is the most important thing in your life, which is
Like I said, I'm playing.
why I'm very grateful to be partnered with today's sponsor, and drugs is a huge started. And unfortunately, just as millennials were told to simply learn to code, rather than having an honest conversation about collapse.
Does a 5-year-old need to know how to code? I don't think so, but the more early you put them on, have you ever seen like how American parents are like smart? Like when they take their kids to sport, they make them play every sport, and then by the time they're teenagers or something, they can, you know, what I mean, that's smart as hell because if they fail one, they can take another one, so they set for life. You know, what I mean, that's actually smart. So even as a kid, like, don't just don't make them take one profession. Make them take couple. You know what I mean? So if this one fails, they are versatile. They can do this, and that.
Entry-level jobs, crushing student loan debt, competition against older workers, rampant automation, and the rising cost of living, society's solution for Gen Z has simply become go into the trades. Despite having spent years covering the decline of vocational education and the stigma surrounding blue-collar work, I still believe the trades are an excellent career path for many people, but pretending that they can absorb an entire generation will only recreate the exact same bottlenecks that white-collar workers are already facing. A new Wallet Hub study, ranking the best and worst entry-level jobs in America, found that trade careers dominate the bottom of the list based on immediate opportunity, growth potential, and job hazards, while also ranking among the nation's least happy occupations.
Let me see. Happiest car designer, animator, game developer. Game developer gotta be like, not unless it's like your passion, then yeah, IT support specialist, cybersecurity. What? What the fuck? Dog photographer. That's even a fucking profession. What the fuck is going on? Development biologist. What is even that? Occupational therapist, UX designer, system administrator, and happy electrician. Ah, I bet real psychiatric aid, social worker, construction worker. Um, wow, you gotta feel from these niggas, bro. Oh my god, slavery modern type, bro. Just bro, you gotta feel from them niggas, bro. Warehouse manager, night cleaner. What do you mean night cleaner? Video game quality tester. What? Give me that shit. What do you know? Hospital security? No, that's not hard, bro. Hospital security, boy, you ain't even got, like hospital security and happiest. Maybe it's not what you like, but I feel like, boy, there you ain't doing nothing. You can be on your phone. Because I went to the hospital one time and it's like there was a security and he was on your phone, on his phone, calling and shit. Like he was alright. So I don't think he's like that bad. Surgical coordinator. I don't know what that is. Construction project manager. Man, stop fucking, man. This nigga playing on our face, bro. You know what? The unhappiest and the hardest. Maybe this is the unhappiest. Unhappiest. It's also the hardest. Bro, the niggas who work in supermarkets and shit. Bro, and like McDonald's. I see people who deliver. Bro, that shit mental though. You feel me? What else? Um, let me think, yo. Let me think. There's some hard ass jobs out here. The people who wash toilets and shit. The people who clean the hotels. That's the unhappiest. Bro, every time you come from work, you boy, you like you're aging 10 years every day. Bro, oh my gosh. Trust me. I have respect for these people who work these works, bro. Really. If I'm gonna be a manager, I'm gonna respect them, bro. On me. Cause yo,
But more importantly, nearly every single one of my friends who are in the trades have recently been telling me that if they were to enter their trade today, without their years of experience, their industry connections, or overall reputation, they are convinced they would not be able to find a job because of increased competition and an overall economic downturn in their industry. So while Gen Z has effectively become the test dummies for AI in both classrooms and entry-level careers, only to be turned around and called lazy and entitled, despite working more jobs simultaneously than any previous generation, with society's only real solution becoming go into the
who they don't work in trades, who actually works in trades.
trades, it is crucial that if we care at all about the future of our nation and the children who have no idea the economy they're about to inherit, we
I'll be honest with you. You're gonna be this if you're gonna do this trade stuff and all. You gotta be like a monster, bro. Top 5. You gotta eat. It's a dog eat dog war here, and you gotta eat. You gotta destroy everybody. That's your entirely. You're gonna suffer. Don't go out here thinking shit sweet. You gotta eliminate the competition.
begin having honest conversations about how to actually course correct before another generation is forced to pay an even worse price.
So I'm writing
Add.
Unfortunately, I know people are not going to want to hear this, but I think that this is going to be the new norm. Like, I don't think that we're going to return to a job market. Like, some people are like holding out, like, well, eventually things will improve. They may, because things break completely and you have to rebuild. But like, what's the pain involved in that? That's a much bigger, like, Great Depression level kind of event. I know some people will throw out like, well, we just need universal basic income. I have my own strong opinions about that. There's not necessarily a clear end game that looks great, and I'm not trying to be doom and gloom about this. I do think that there's still, if you take faculty of your own career, you're really driving things. You treat it like you are the CEO of a business of one. You build multiple, people don't like to hear this, but you got to build multiple streams of income so that you're not beholden to any one single paycheck and single employer, that you're not knee-jerk reactioning. You actually build your career with an actual strategy. There is a process to do that. And so many people do not do that, mainly because they're never taught that in university or wherever. They kind of just it's like throwing the baby bird out of the nest and saying, figure it out yourself. And most people, not surprisingly, don't really do a good job of that. But I just don't see that this is a fixable problem without there being a wholesale change in how we approach, like, and I'm not just saying like we as the job seeker, I'm saying is like society looks at what role the human being plays in where we want this society to go in the future.
And so what I hope that we're beginning to recognize is that as a society, if we have any desire to have the future be just a little bit better than today, to have the future be just a little bit better than the past 4 decades, we have to stop putting these blanketed statements on every single massive systemic decay that has been causing issues for as long as we can remember. I just cannot understand for the life of me how every generation emerging into adulthood, at least every modern generation. No, really, I mean, I'll show you, there's a quote from Plato discussing older workers or older people saying that young people are lazy. But the unfortunate reality is that as a society, instead of these older workers or each generation during their period of time, instead of pointing up at the people that are actually undercutting their wages or making them work more hours for less pay, or reducing retirement benefits, reducing paid time off, aren't able to keep up with the cost of living, or reducing health insurance benefits, you name it. Instead of pointing at the people actually doing the issues, what better person to point your fingers at than the little guy that has no power to stand up for themselves?
Preach, no, preach, bro. And I feel bad for them boys, bro. Like, cause I don't my shit, like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to like go up, but if you're trying to be an average, you're cooked. You're cooked. You know what I mean? If you're trying to be average, you're cooked. Because like somebody literally said, they said, um, in terms of taxes, say for example, they're the lower people income, the rich, and then the middle. They don't have money. What are you gonna tax? They're broke. The rich people got money. They know how to get around their taxes. So you in the middle, you the meal, you fresh food, you food. They're gonna crush you. So hey, you choose. You're gonna be a crackhead on the street. I'm free like Franklin State. I'm free, or you gotta be rich. That's how the world is, bro. In the middle, bro. Stress. Imagine living hell in here and then going in the afterlife and then living hell.
And the biggest thing that I really
Ah,
cannot understand is that when you hear a hiring manager or somebody say they're traditionally in their 50s or so, the people that really have power to be making these decisions, the people on the news, pumping out these headlines, when they say the young generation is lazy and entitled,
mm,
the likelihood of that 55-year-old individual saying that, having a kid that is graduating from college or already has, is unbelievably high. So are you saying the reality is that every Gen Z is lazy except for your kid?
mm.
Are you
People be talking bullshit nowadays without speaking facts. I was just watching this video like um on the internet, and this guy was like, "Oh wait, let me try to remember what she said." He said, "All men do something." Hold on, let me try to remember. All men do what? She was talking trash. You know how the misandry people are? All men this, all men. Oh yeah, she was talking about war. He said, "Oh, why don't the women fight in wars?" Like, oh, because the men started. I'm like, what are you saying fuck me for? Why? I ain't start no war. I'm at home. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Like you guys started it. No, I was like, it's the bad man. Bad man. There's a difference. Bad man that's starting these wars, not us. Not us, man. And I'm like, bro, you're saying man like your father is a fucking alien. Your brother, what are you talking about? Like, bro, they just be talking everything nonsense like on the internet. I'm like, bro, you got male relatives in your family and you go on the internet and you saying man, man, man. But Nowadays, listen, we can't even get mad because I was looking at her profile. You know how the blue haired people, like how they look like? They all look the same. And I was just looking at how her life is. It's like her life looks just catastrophic. Like nobody is like gonna like exchange their life with hers. No offense, but it's like they all look the same. They just leftists, you know how they look, bro. They just don't be think. They just be happy. So I'm like, bro, what you talking about? And as she was saying this bullshit, I'm like, bro, when this bad man invade like a country and we have to go to war, our first mindset is like protect our men, our women and children, right? Our women and children. They don't think that these are bad men, villains. Bad men exist in the world. You know what I mean? They say, "Oh man, do this, do that." So you trying to tell me y'all can start a riot, women, right? Not trying to be offensive. Do y'all think y'all can, young women? Do y'all think y'all can attack a country right now? Like just women. Let's say yeah, we attack like maybe England women from Spain women go attack England against the man. Y'all winning? Let's be honest, y'all winning that shit. So for them, so it's like logic. These are people who are more in power, right? So obviously, if they starting shit, because y'all can't beat them in terms of anything. And if you look like evolution, men are usually the providers. Men are trying to, you know what I mean, make them roads, this structure, and y'all was like at home taking care of the kids, and the man was like doing all this hard stuff. So it's the logic that they were in power and working on parliaments and this and that. And then when somebody said, "Oh, this is my land, this is my land," you can't beat this bird person saying we want to take your land. So it's logic. I don't know if they stopped going to school or something. This shit was pissing me off because what is creating on the internet is making women look bad, the good ones, because there's good ones right now. And like I said, we should stop judging our community as whole when one person does it. Like a man cheats on his girl and then he's like, "Oh man," I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? That's fucking insane. It's an insane take. So she making other women bad, look bad. In my mind, when I'm seeing this bullshit, every time I go on the internet, I'm seeing man, 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 man. I'm like, what's this? I ain't even do nothing. My homies don't do nothing. But y'all out here dragging on name on the mud. I'm like, bro, what is going on? You know how back in the days you could like take a bullet for a lady? Let me find myself. Let me find myself. Let me find. I'm taking no bullet. Yeah, you can take. Yeah, cartel. Tell me if she dies. Go ahead. Fuck no. I was even in the bus one time, and when I was a kid, you used to like, cause we was taught in school, you either wake up and let the women sit, the kids, the pregnant ladies, and older people. For me, right now, it's just pregnant people and older people. Yeah, yeah, others are strong, independent. Yeah, good. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all. You healthy. No offense, but y'all be talking shit on the internet, and I hope it doesn't go that bad because it's getting that bad. Because men are getting like, you know what I mean? Like this is enough. Y'all gotta stop with the misandry.
You
Y'all
saying
not.
that you had absolutely no responsibility in helping parent the future generation? How do you point at young kids and say, yeah, they're addicted to social media or to their phone? Who handed them their phone? Older adults, do we have no
Phone helps us pass time. Phone helps us gain in knowledge right now. It can teach you like if somebody's getting robbed in that place, you can see how it's dangerous. It educates you. You know what I mean? It helps you pass time, depression, rather than doing drugs. People outside here. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to know if the um number of people who abuse drugs went low or high in this generation because the people on your phones right now. I think it might have an impact because it occupies them.
responsibility for the country and the reality that we're a part of? You're telling me that every single systemic decay falls on the little guy.
Mm.
Or falls on all these other things, right? Like a massive narrative is that the entire job market is collapsing because of minimum wage. right? Like that is a real argument. I get that on every single one of my videos. So it's blanketed statement after blanketed statement after blanketed statement, and we fail to recognize that we are all experiencing the exact same thing. The thing that makes me the most sad out of all of this is that, Gen Z, as a generation, we have the opportunity to genuinely make a difference because we recognize the issue. We are at the age to where we are being vocal about it. It's kind of bad enough that we have to address it. And so what we have to do is we have to not only pay the burden of previous decades of economic mismanagement, but we also have to start envisioning the future. But the unfortunate reality is that as a generation, predominantly, again, not every single person, but predominantly, we've lost hope. We've already given up. There's a reason why Gen Z is called the nihilistic generation.
Fuck that mean?
And so if you have already given up and you have no hope, then we're grouped right in with every other generation. And the very frustrating thing from myself, because again, like I'm going to address the systemic issues. Okay. I am then going to come on and I'm going to do something like this at the tail end of the video because I want to give you in-person, one-on-one kind of, why does this matter? And then at the end of the video, I address, hey, these are things that we can do. Now, I can't not necessarily address, hey, here's how you face decades of economic, destruction of entry-level jobs. There isn't just a solution I can give you for that. And I hope that you kind of recognize that there are individual things that you could do to help better your opportunities of getting a job. Like Brian with a Life After Layoff has plenty of those things on his channel.
The niggas of parliament, like, if they were smart, what they will do is like, we got social media right now. They can say Gen Z. There's this counselor in Germany. He's smart as hell, and he's using like his pose. Like he's so smart that you can even feel change, and he's been making changes. I forgot his name. He's like he works on the parliament, like in Germany. He's really good, and he actually look because he's always asking the Gen Z, "What can we do better? What can we do?" And he's so educated. I'm seeing him in the comments. He's like, "Oh, this can work. This cannot." And he's like, "What can I do for you? Speak." And then there's this one that has so many likes. He takes that and he's like putting in the work, and he's letting you know this we can do, this we can do. What can we do? He's making it. That's what we want to see. But these old niggas, I don't know what these niggas do. What the fuck do y'all do? I promise you, what they do. So we need those. I feel, for me, actually, I feel like we need more younger people on this generation because they're doing a lot for the community. This all niggas corruption. Hey, hey, corruption is only bad if I'm not included. You. No part of it. Nah, no offense though.
But what I do here is I just try to talk about the systemic issue and to be able to fix a systemic issue, because we're not the ones writing the policy and we're not the ones making the corporate decisions, is we have to change our attitude and our desire to make things better. Okay. We are the ones that are have each other's hands around each other's throats. We're the ones not making decisions in our own lives. And so what I do is I say, hey, these are ways that you can do agency, and here's why you should have hope, and do this or do this. Try to look at this through your personal life. When was the last time you talked to your neighbor? When was the last time you had these conversations? And so then I offer things of, hey, make sure that you go out and vote. One of the reasons that this happened was because there was no Gen Z turnout. And then what comments do I receive? There's no point in voting. Voting doesn't do anything, so why would I waste my time?
He's actually speaking facts, bro. I ain't seen no change. I haven't seen anything that I can look back and say, this nigga did this, this nigga did that. Nothing. Everything's still the same. So what the fuck do you do? Oh shit, hold on. What the fuck?
Friends, right? Because you would say, why would I waste my time? And so then I go into my friends, right? Because you would say, well, go touch grass. So I go talk to my friends. Not a single one of them will vote either. Okay, so voting isn't an option. So then I do something like, hey, here's a petition that we're trying to work on. This is what we're trying to do and raise awareness. And then what comments do I receive? The petition isn't going to do anything. Everything sucks. There's no hope. Why would I even waste my time? Okay, so now I go to my friends and I start talking about this, and they say nothing's going to change. Okay, so we're not going to vote and we're not going to do petitions. So then I do this, I help promote this thing to raise awareness for the pursuits of raising awareness for humanity versus AI, that we need to prioritize humanity over all of these other things. And we have to get our policymakers to actually start regulating these things and work on the different aspects of what it is that's going.
Facts. Something like, oh, um, I'm not perfect. You feel me? So whatever I'm gonna say is like not that perfect because I haven't think about it, but it's something that an idea that I was thinking. Like if you're gonna employ, let's say, like AI robots, right, working on a warehouse, you gotta have somebody control them. You feel me? Control them and then getting them paid every worker so they can work somewhere at home or something. I feel like that is more, you know what I mean, rather than just some, you know what I mean, and then laying people over. I think the government should involve because where are all these people gonna go? I don't think that, and he's saying he's like right. That's what I was trying to relate because if you put AI, where are all these other people gonna go and do? Is like
on. What do I receive? It's never going to do anything. Why would I even bother? Our policymakers don't do anything. It's just greed. It's just corruption. They don't care about us. All right. I go to my friends. Hey, what do you think that's going on? I get nothing. Okay. So I continuously go around and I try to talk to people in real life. There's nothing. But you know what it is that we do talk about is we talk about the basketball game. We talk about soccer. We talk about the celebrity, the next movie, right? We talk about all of these things, but everything actually impacting our lives, we refuse to have conversations about. And so now I'm in this position to where I'm thinking, okay, so we're not going to vote. We're not going to do petitions. We're not going to do, any sort of movement or to get our representatives interacting. I talk about, hey, let's do these boycotts. Nope, we're not going to do that either because, that's not going to work. Okay. I talk about, hey, maybe we need to start talking about creating a better form of unions. Oh, unions are just bad. It's never going to work. So I'm at this point where every single time I produce or I try to mention something and I try to talk about agency within your own life and all of these different.
my boy. Them niggas, I don't know if these niggas sacrifice niggas, but the people who are on those offices, bro, you can't get rid of these people. You know what I mean? I don't know, boy. That's the problem. You can't get rid. They got motion. I don't know what the fuck going on. You can't. Your petition is not working. Shit. It's just wasting your time going on the sun there, rioting and bullshit. They ain't doing shit. They'll have the final say, and you can't get rid of them niggas, bro. It's just pointless, bro.
Different things. All I'm now getting is an overwhelming tsunami of why it's not going to work. The unfortunate reality is that if you have a little brother or little sister or a little son or daughter or grandson or granddaughter, that in a decade and 15 years from now, we are going to hear the exact same thing from them, that there's no entry-level jobs. And they're going to look at us and they're going to say that we had it so easy. They're going to be upset that we didn't do more for them. And it's a travesty. That is going to be such a sad reality if we're deciding that that is the path that we're going to go on, that there is no hope, that there's no chance for unity. There's no chance for anything that we can do. I think at the end of the day, that's an individual decision that we're making. I don't think anybody is forcing us to decide that. But the fact of the matter is that, yes, things will not get better if we give up. There's no incentive for the people in power to have things get better. But there's a lot of incentive for us to demand that from them. Going back to the societal stigma, my mom is a hairstylist, and so she has many, many, many clients. I hear this all of the time. They come in and they say, so what do your sons do?
Mama.
She'll be like, well, my youngest son works at a hardware store, and my oldest son is a YouTuber. And she receives, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, why? She's like, when is your son ever going to get a real job? Referencing me.
Fuck.
When is your son ever going to move out of your when is your son ever going to move out of your basement? I've been living on my own for 5+ years.
Okay.
I'm sorry that your son isn't taking life serious. Kids these days, right?
Facts. I can't even feel bad because the community is so bad. Even somebody tell me they leave home, I get them, bro. I get you, bro. I ain't even gonna shame nobody, bro. They cooking niggas out here. If that easy, trust me, they cooking niggas so bad out here. Someone say they leave at home, bro. Trust me, leave at home until you get your shit together. You feel me? You see, he got his shit together.
It's the most insane thing. They have no idea what it is that I'm talking about. They never ask. They never have, they don't actually have any interest whatsoever. And so what do they turn around and do? Well, they use the entire appointment with my mom to just complain about their own kids and how their own kids aren't participating in society and all of these different things. And then, my mom will ask, so what is it that you're doing? And the parent says, I've already given up. The kid's like 14. I've already given up. It's in my incentive to do the best that I can to try to help out that person, to help out all of the Americans and all of the people worldwide that are facing these issues that maybe don't have the opportunity to even think about these things or speak about these things, to say it. And so what I need from you is to believe it, to have hope, to see these things and want to make a difference, to not just give up. And, I don't know. Last night I filmed this video and filmed it until 2:30 in the morning. Wake up this morning, it turns out that the audio didn't record, right? It's so fantastic.
Nigga, I did the whole stream, gang, and the audio wasn't good. I was hot. But life goes on. I woke up the next day and I did another stream. And it was like a good day. And it only happens when you have a good video. I was hot, bro. I was hot. Hopefully this one is like also recording. Yeah, oh my gosh, my heart. Oh my fucking god.
And so now I'm doing this on the 4th of July. I am late to where it is that I'm supposed to go. And I need to get this video out. And I just hate sitting here thinking that it's not doing anything. And again, I know it's helping those individuals out there.
Facts.
But and that is, again, why I'm doing it. But for the overall tone of my generation, I just don't see where the voices are out there that are saying, hey, let's not give up. And
he's actually speaking facts, because we gotta come on, because the government ain't doing shit, and we gotta, like, what we're gonna do for our community, in terms of housing, jobs, and everything to change, because the government is not helping. These things are concentrated on fucking things that even don't make any sense.
I don't know. So, again, are the trades a great opportunity for you? Absolutely, but not for everybody. We have to start talking about what are things that we can do to fix the system, not just ways we can succeed individually. Fix the system. And so, I hope that this was able to provide some sort of value to you. And, I greatly appreciate your support. And I'm sorry that I did take this time, I guess, to just complain. But
No,
I think it's really important that we hear
he actually spoke facts, and it's like really somebody to go out on the way and speak this, and people don't know it's actually good. You know what I mean?
the things that we're experiencing. And I think that this is
Yeah, and if like watching this, we need to like really stand up and go to the street and be like, yo, what the fuck you are doing? And for our next generation, the most beautiful thing that we do is making sure the next generation finds this place better than it was.
a common narrative for a lot of different people. If you don't mind just checking to see if you are subscribed, or subscribe if you would like to, I would greatly appreciate that.
I'm gonna subscribe. He got some good ass views, and so yeah.